Today on Mr. Media, I'll talk to Summer Glau, who every teen boy knows as the sultry young star of Firefly, Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and her new NBC superhero series, The Cape. Stick around, and maybe she won't kick your ass. Maybe she will.
Hey, did you know that you can listen to the latest Mr. Media on your phone with the Stitcher app? Stitcher is smart radio for your smartphone. Mr. Media is on demand and on the go with Stitcher. Download Stitcher for your phone today. Get the free download at Stitcher.com. That's STITCHER.com.
So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is a Mr. Media interview. You know, MrMedia.com, MRmedia.com. Stop by and check it out. There are nearly 700 archived celebrity interviews for your listening pleasure. The show is brought to you today by our new sponsor, Star Pirates. Star Pirates is a free online sci-fi game that I think you'll really enjoy playing. Give it a try today at starpirates.net. Now, you must be at least 13 to play, but starpirates.net. Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of panting fanboys who think summer is the new black in the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Now, they say the cream always rises to the top, but in my experience, it's always the scum.
What do you want?
You know Faraday was innocent. You know chess is Peter Fleming, and now you're going to tell the world what you know.
You want to kill me? Go ahead. If I talk, I'm dead anyway.
Wrap it up. You got a call through to ARC. They're on their way.
Last chance!
If I die, you die. They'll make sure of it.
Been there, done that.
You said you were just going to talk to him.
I didn't like what he had to say.
Take me home now.
Shutting down cameras along 56th Street. You better move fast. Take Chandler Boulevard. I can give you a straight shot to Charlie Park from there.
Summer Glau gets some of the most enviable genre roles on television. Her first was on Angel, where Buffy the Vampire Slayer creator Joss Whedon liked her so much he cast her in the wonderful yet short-lived sci-fi adventure Firefly and the film that followed it, Serenity. She was also on the cult series The 4400, then made a big return to network TV as the only hot Terminator ever in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Now she's an investigative blogger named Orwell, who partners with the lead character in NBC's The Cape to fight crime and corruption in Palm City. Oh, I just like the sound of that, as an old comic book guy. It's the perfect accompaniment for fans of Chuck who get to the end of that show and want more, and more. Oh, did I mention that Summer Glau is quite beautiful? Summer, welcome. She liked that. Welcome to Mr. Media.
Oh, I love it.
So, Summer, what is a beautiful girl like you doing in the world of superheroes and science fiction?
I'm having a blast. I'm fighting crime and throwing down and breaking rules and being Orwell. It's amazing. I'm having a blast.
Now, am I wrong? I mean, an outsider looking at you with no history and just getting a look at you would probably think you'd be more gleek than geek.
Well, I mean, I every time I do a new show, I just hope that fans keep enjoying what I'm working on, and I think that The Cape is off to a great start. I'm really proud of it, and I think that audiences are responding. People are coming up to me every day and saying how much they love the show. I also say, "Wow, you're small in real life. You're always kicking butt on screen, but you're actually just a little girl."
Does that bother you to hear that?
No, I mean, it's kind of, it's the truth. I mean, I always play these really empowered girls, and I love it. I'm so blessed to be part of an awesome cast and be playing what I think is a really special role. But at the end of the day, I am just a little girl grocery shopping when people run into me. But from what I'm hearing, people really like the show.
All right, and just for the record, how tall are you?
I'm almost 5'6".
Well, I think you're right about Sylvester Stallone territory there, aren't you? He's not a big...
Have you met him?
No, I have not, but I understand he and Tom Cruise too. I mean, they're not big guys, but on film and TV, you come across as very big, and obviously it works for you too.
Well, Sylvester Stallone is one of my favorites. I mean, Rocky is one of my all-time favorite movies. So he is he's larger than life to me, and always will be.
Well, tell folks who haven't seen it yet a little bit about the Cape, but also more importantly, how you, as Orwell, this blogger extraordinaire, interacts with the Cape.
Well, they have a complicated relationship because they're both very headstrong and they like to do things their own way. And when Orwell comes across Vince, she knows that together they can be better. Together that they can take down Art Corporation. But they want the same thing. They just have a really different way of getting it. And it's just an interesting dynamic between a guy and a girl. He feels like she bosses him around, and she feels like he's not listening. And so over time, they find a way of communicating, and it's really fun. It's a really fun part of the character.
Now, I don't want to be too geeky myself because I'm a little dated on this, but Orwell kind of reminds me of the modern Barbara Gordon character in the Batman comics, who I guess is stuck in unlike you, stuck in a wheelchair. But she was running like the city. She knows where all the crime is going on. She's telling superheroes where to go and what to do. Am I the first to draw that comparison?
I don't think you're the first. I think that there's definitely similarities there, and I think that it's cool. She's been on her own since she was 12, and she's had to find a way to protect herself, to keep her identity hidden, but to be able to speak to the city, and that's what she's come up with, as being a blogger, which is sort of a modern take on that concept. And she also gets out in the field a lot, though, too. She's always getting into trouble.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if by going to you for the role of Orwell, if the producers were thinking, at some point maybe magically the Cape winds up on her for an occasional episode, because we know she can go out and kick ass.
Oh yeah, as our season unfolds, you're going to see some crazy situations that she gets into, but she sees this as her mission, which I like. She's not a sidekick. She's doing things her own way.
Mm-hmm. Now, Summer, after having done Firefly, which, by the way, I love, my family loved. We discovered it after it went off the air, and then went and someone recommended it, and we rented the whole thing from Netflix and watched it like over 2 weekends. Great stuff. But I wondered if, after doing Firefly and Terminator, which a lot of people love but didn't get long runs, are you able to seek any kind of assurance before you take a role like on the Cape that the network is going to give it a longer tryout than the last two?
Well, I have been thrilled with the support that NBC's been giving us so far. More so than ever, I just feel really supported, and they've pushed the show, and I feel like we've gotten out there and let people know when it's airing. I feel a lot of support, but the truth is, every time you take a TV show, you have to be ready for the inevitable that happens with most shows. And I have friends that are cast and pilots that never air. It's part of being an actor. You have to fall in love with the show, and you have to commit completely, and then whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
And so I'm used to it. I feel like it's just part of the job. But with this show, I feel like it's really special, and people are already coming up to me and saying that they're watching, and I feel really great about it.
Well, I got one more question for you. My wife and daughter insist that I ask. I have no idea what the answer is going to be. But as big Firefly and, of course, Serenity fans, is there any chance that Joss sees that coming back in some way at some point, or are we done with that?
We're never done. It's never over. There's always hope. I'm never going to give up. I know that Joss is a little busy right now, but
Yeah.
Who knows?
It is amazing how that cast is. I mean, Nate is over on Castle. I can't think of the actress's name on V.
Maria's doing V.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite remarkable, and it really shows you the quality of you guys that were gathered together. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that you guys will make it back. Folks, you can see the object of fanboy dreams, some of the new superhero drama, The Cape. It's right after another great show, Chuck. Summer Glau, thanks so much for joining us on Mr. Media. For more original interviews with your favorite TV stars, surf over to our main website, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, a comment on today's show, or would like to advertise on Mr. Media Radio, email me directly at bob@mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, twitter.com/Andelman, or Facebook, just search Mr. Media Interviews. Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate you sharing a piece of your day with Mr. Media. Thanks for listening.
Hey, this is America Olivo, and whenever I'm not being terrorized in the movies, such as Friday the 13th or Circle, or terrorizing others, like in Bitch Slap, I'm avoiding dirty old men like Mr. Media. And if you see him, you should too.